Welcome back to Gig Harbor Paddling. Today we're talking through video review. Every Saturday morning here at Gig Harbor, we like to start practice off with a technical video review. So we have a ton of different paddlers with a ton of different technical issues and things that they've been working on. And so today we're gonna go through a few different paddlers and go through the miscellaneous things that we like and we don't like, and how we could potentially fix the things that we don't like. All right, Carter, what is one thing that you've been working on?
I've been working on trying to straighten out my bottom arm.
When?
In the middle of the stroke after I enter the water.
So we can see that there is need for that. Why is it important to have your bottom arm straight?
So that you can use the right muscles.
Yeah, that's a really simple way to put it. Ideally what we want is that when you put that paddle in the water, if you keep your arm straight, but you're going through the stroke, the only thing your body can do is come up and rotate back.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you can keep your body down and just bend your bottom arm. So a lot of us do a combination of this in the canoe, and I agree that is something we want to fix. So what is a thing that you have worked on in the past that you have gotten down?
I think I'm returning my hip good, because I think I used to do it a lot too late, but now I'm doing it right when I exit.
Yeah, the timing of the hip does look a bit better. What I really want to point out for you that I want you to keep doing is you are rotating more with your body instead of rolling with your back during the stroke. So yeah. Let's watch one more time. Canoers, you always kind of look like you're doing it a little bit, but from where Carter came from, this is really good. What is something you're doing well in this video that you have worked on in the past?
My exit for the most part. Looks like my torso's rotating way more with my exit. My arm's still breaking a lot, but I'm trying to not exit late.
So you're talking about not exiting past your body, once your body stops moving, you're done with your stroke. You're rotating, it looks pretty stopped there, and you've started your stroke, so that's good. I do want to talk about potential reasons why you might not be moving as much as you want per stroke. Why did I stop? Hang on. Why did I stop the video right there? Look at the blade. Someone help her out.
That's where it finally is fully submerged.
So what does that mean? If she starts her stroke here and ends there, I'd say you moved the boat pretty good for a very short 3-inch stroke. What if you started your stroke way up there? So if this is the spot in the water we want to put the blade in, how the heck are you going to do it?
Spear the water.
I think that's a really good way of putting it.
Keep the top handle closer in.
Yeah, so he said spear the water, and how we do that is with the arm angle.
Yeah.
So the top arm, I know I'm behind you in this video, but you can see how high your backhand is, right? And then look at your left hand. What if you straighten that hand? Which direction would the hand go? Forward and down. Yeah. I think that this is just a prime example of the effects of having those good arm positions, right? So what's cool is that you have all the moving parts, you just need to change some angles.
I was going to say the same thing with this, that trying to get into that proper starting position with your bottom arm being a little bent and your top arm being a little high. As soon as you fix those two things, the blade's going to be in the exact right spot. So you get the arm straight and you pull that hand down and the blade's just going to go forward. And you're going to be able to do that full stroke.
Tell me what you have been working on.
I've been working on reaching out more and looking up.
Yeah, that's good. What are some things that you have worked on in the past that you've gotten down?
It looks like in that video I'm exiting pretty early, I guess. Way behind my back leg.
Yeah, did you guys see how early that exit was? A lot of people struggle with that. So that's really good. And I think that's why your boat jumps forward and stays forward through in between strokes. Because a lot of people, even though they are super strong or they have really far reach, their boat just jumps back and forth, but you can see your boat kind of just surging forward in between each stroke. when you don't have to like, steer and stuff. So she's talking about her need to reach out more. How can you do it? Because this is your reach right now.
Rotating more.
Okay, so we see some rotation, right? So her hip is open there, and then it's closed there. I can see some of your back, but yeah, we could get a bit more rotation. Sometimes I like looking at the back foot to make sure it's not shoved over to the side too much, so that you can free up your hip to close all the way. And then your upper body, what else could you do?
Try to bury the blade sooner.
How do you bury the blade sooner in a canoe? I challenge you guys to open up this angle.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense? So if you change this angle by falling forward more, you might be just breaking at the hip. But what if you just hung on that back foot more and just opened up that knee angle? The last thing I want to say, Johanna, to get there is straightening that bottom arm. So more rotation and getting to the water properly by opening up that knee angle, which takes a lot of leg strength, and then straightening up that arm. Also, potentially mess around with moving your hand up. Your hands look very wide. What would cause somebody to rush the stroke person?
Excitement.
Sure.
There's some differences in hip movement in the boat, different power coming in at different times, and they're choosing the hip that's easiest or strongest to follow, and that's not on stroke.
Thomas is going up to his setup a little bit more than everyone else, so he's like trying to get all the way up to his setup through rotation. You see that? But it looks kind of skipped in the back. So in a team boat, one of the crucial things is to have a meeting point every stroke, to have that coming together moment. And so I love to make that the setup. If everybody could hit that setup at the same time, it'll go way smoother. Also, exits need to be at the same time. Honestly, this is just all about the angles. So if I'm watching a team boat, I just want to see the paddles being parallel at all times. Danielle, what have you been working on?
I have been working on keeping the bottom arms straight and relaxing my grip.
So you keep it pretty straight until you're buried. Do you guys see that? Why she's working on that?
Mm-hmm.
What's something that you have worked on in the past that you have gotten better at?
I think rotation has gotten a bit better.
Yeah, you have been working on rotation. I think we can get more.
Yeah.
I think sometimes your settings are too close. Leg drive is this optimal thing where you want enough tension in between the footboard and the seat, but you don't want too much where you're feeling cramped.
Oh.
So play around with that. I think this kind of goes back to what we were saying with Claire's video, just the angles, why keeping a straight arm is important. If you had a straight arm here, your shoulders wouldn't be dipping down on the side.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys see your shoulders kind of dipping down? So she's sitting tall there. Her shoulder gets out of the way, comes down, and then like you can see more of her body kind of crunching because she knows what that paddle feels like when it's all the way in the water. So she's trying to make it happen with the bent arm, but if she made it happen with a straight arm, her body has freedom to come straight up and then rotate. You can watch
I think the
her.
leg drive is like, is it late?
Looks
I can't see it.
I think it might be late, but look at her, look at her back.
Are,
Look at her back, because I know it's blurred. It's hard. It looks like she starts rotating right there.
so it's all.
It's halfway through.
Yeah, so we gotta work on just like starting that leg drive earlier with the straight arm, and maybe it'll help you want to keep a straight arm. All right, Molly, what is something you have been working on?
Rotation.
Rotation. All right, let's look at your rotation. So we're seeing some hip action, like you're pressing back with your legs, but how can we tell if you're rotating? I want to see you opening and closing your hip. I'm looking at different things like your shorts have a point, and so if you were rotating, that point would be kind of twisting around, but I don't see that too much. When we're right here, or we're in the exit, right here, what do we want to do?
Push your hips back forward.
Correct.
Squeeze. Yeah.
So that left leg, Molly, right there, when you're still in the water, that's when you squeeze your left glute forward. And then by here, you would already be forward. Because right now, what you're doing is you're going forward all at once with your body, and then you're going back all at once. And so your boat is kind of jumping up and forward and then stops and goes down. But we want it to stay up and forward, up and forward, up and forward, and not go down. Something that you have been working on that you've gotten down really well, do you see it? What you've been doing well? Your two arms are very straight, and I know a lot of people in this room need help doing that. So you're doing really good with that. Cedar, what's something you have been working on?
Hip return. Yeah.
Like the timing of it?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Let's look at what your hip does. It stopped moving there. It moved forward as you started taking it out of the water. That's really good. So while you were pulling it out of the water, look at how forward you were. You were in attack position. You're ready to go. That's really good. You guys see his top hand? You guys could all learn from Cedar here. We have that horizontal line even to help us look at his top hand. Where does he stop it? He's keeping really small top hand circles. Look at where he stops his hand. Specifically the top hand we really like. So, good job. What's something that you could work on next?
Exiting earlier.
You think you could exit earlier? Okay. I sense the spirit of excellence in you. I think if we could bury earlier, and then you could exit earlier. And I want you to use your whole stroke to press up, which it looks like you are doing pretty good actually right there. So let's work on seeing how much you could use that reach to bury up further, okay? So Connor, what's one thing that you specifically have been working on?
Straight back and keeping the top hand in a good position.
Yes.
I feel like my back looks pretty straight in this video.
It looks straighter than normal,
Yeah.
yes. Let's look at your right elbow right there. What are you supposed to use to exit the water? What leads the exit? The hand.
The hand goes.
Yes. So your hand needs to lead the exit. Let's look at his exit on the right arm. His elbow pulls it up high, and then his hand kind of comes along with it. A lot of you are pulling up like this. See how the elbow is kind of what's leading that in height? But what needs to happen is the hand, the knuckles actually are trying to get to the sky. And everything just gets to stay relaxed. And it helps it stay in position. No, what have you been working on?
Wobbling.
Yeah, see? It's overwhelming when you have a critical mind and you're always looking at everything. But specifically, we have been trying to figure out how to get Noah to keep the hip crease and the armpit crease the same distance apart through the entire stroke. Really creepy.